You're listening to the Real Life Trading Pre-Market Day Trading Show. All right, what's up, friends, family, YouTube lurkers from around the world? Hope you had a great weekend, enjoyed the 3 days. Got to remember those in, at least in the US, that gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms out there. Hope you had a great Memorial Day. Oh, the Newsome Naders in the house.
What's up, dude?
Nice and early. All right.
Yeah, baby.
How was that Murph yesterday?
It was good, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. It was a fun experience, though, as always.
Awesome.
So you like AMC, huh?
It looks like a good gap today.
Yeah.
Looks like a good gap. Yeah, thank you, Tom Cruise. I was kind of also just looking at weeklies, since we have a new week. See what's clearing the weekly candles, and AMC is one of them.
Love it.
All right, so here's SPY. We traded down into that 3,800 area, and we had a heck of a little rip there last week, so that was nice. We saw some divergence on like stocks making new lows, advanced declines, some different internal indicators that shows probably a temporary bottom. What I personally would like to see is for us to, where's my annotations? For us to kind of hang out, retest, chop around in here. The faster we rip higher, and if we rip up into this 430 without any resting days, the more likely I think we have another low in place. Or if we just go, straight down, then that probably won't be great either. But if we can kind of hang out and chop around in here, one could make the argument that a good low has been put in for a bit. Just because there's some areas of the market that are just not going to go down, most likely, like energy. I know when you look at the chart, you're like, there's no way energy can keep going up. But yeah, the thing that goes into energy, oil is on another little breakout here of this it's been consolidating for a bit. Looks like it's breaking out. They're probably not going to be drilling for more because reasons. And then you have the war stuff and everything going on. So energy's been helping out the market. Consumer staples, pop back pretty good. Healthcare as well. I'm handle on Friday. We're giving up some of it today, which makes sense. So many bullish days in a row. And then again, over to the bond market, you can see bond market bottomed before the stock market. And then what's interesting, look at high yield. Look at this ripper on high yield over the last 4 days. So that's kind of interesting as well. What's up, Paul? Here's the Qs. So Qs has been the weaker area. Most of the losses actually this year have came from the mega caps. Last year, as things started to decline, it was the small caps, but this year, most of it coming from the mega caps, just percent and overall dollar wise. So NASDAQ pulled back 31%. We're at about negative 24% now. And again, let's draw a little fib. If we retrace the 50%, that takes us into 325. 618 would take us to that 336. Yeah, 336. So we'll see there. Tesla is also, this is a nice gap today as well, because this is gapping above this week and almost this week, and we'll see where it opens. But that's a nice little move there. I do think there's some type of 1, 2, 3, wave 4, and then a possible wave 5 on Tesla. Could come in. Roblo maybe has found the bottom. I mean, it's hard to know stuff like this. It's just getting absolutely wrecked. Delta's in here chopping around the long terms in kind of a channel, but it's had some nice action. especially if you don't mind trading around these things, and they're very sideways. Even all the, now we're above them all, but all these moving averages last week were just right up in there. Here's Apple. So this was like a washout on the mega caps happened over here when most everything else was bottoming over here. So like if you look at I think it's, here's MALP. This is what I posted a chart and some people had questions. So I'm just doing a line chart because this is 52-week lows for the S&P 500. The stocks within the S&P 500 doesn't do candles. You can see over here May 12th and then May 20th. So if we go back over, so you had May 12th right here. So this is when a majority of stocks made new lows. And then over here in the S&P 500 made new lows. You had actually a lot less stocks making new lows. You had a little bit of divergence there. It was mainly mega caps, Apple, etc. that got beat up. But Apple pulled back into a great support. So you have this high, that pivot, this area, and look what we did. We bounced off of it again. I don't know if that's it for Apple. It might not be, but it could be. I mean, anything's possible. Had a pretty solid pullback into good support. Looks like we bounced. I would expect us to retest at least into like low 140s at some point, but we'll see. Everyone was really worried about AMD last week for some reason. I thought AMD looked really good. So you made some higher highs, you made a higher low here, consolidated, broke back out again. So I don't know about everyone else, but me, this kind of looks like a double bottom with a little bit of a deep neckline test, but and also pulled back into really solid support. So pivot point, pivots, all up in here. And again, it's support zones are not like, I know we just draw them as a line. Really, it probably should be like a box because they don't bounce. Usually they don't bounce like exactly. They'll kind of bounce in like an area. It's like anything within that little box, that's support. And so far we're holding up. NVDA. So this is another signal to me that we might be finding at least a short-term bottom. So NVIDIA had, I think the earnings were okay, but they guided down. It actually was red, and then it ended up going red to green. We haven't seen that in a while. So NVIDIA going red to green, looks like a double bottom off of an old high. You also had Zoom. So I'm out of Zoom now. I just played this for like a little quick game. But you did have Zoom hold up over earnings also. So on like a retest into 100 or like 98, 99, somewhere in this area, I actually kind of like Zoom too. I'm not saying Zoom's going back to an all-time high or anywhere near it, and it doesn't even need to. Let's say it pulls back a little bit, and then it trades up into like 135. That's still 35%. So just watch some of these beaten down names. Yeah, it's kind of broke out of a downtrend, a little bit. I mean, Jeremy, I don't know if you heard, I actually have calls on ARK.
Nice.
So, I mean, because it
Hey,
put in this bottom and look at the volume just on a lot of, I didn't know what like trashy, growth stocks to pick. So, let's just pick the queen of the trash.
Queen of the trash.
Nothing long term, but like a short term trade, maybe up into the 50.
Yeah, why not?
I think some of this stuff could move. Coin's actually a pretty decent gap. Looks pretty similar, but it is clearing. A weekly candle, and you have a bullish engulfing candle here from the prior week. I mean, even if we trade into the weekly 10, it's like totally possible. And that could get you some good gains. I think coin's one to watch. AMC, I think it is gapping into a little bit of resistance, but we'll see if it holds. If the apes come out. Red list is now green. Got it, says Justin. Yeah. Baba also looks, it looks good. I don't want to own this thing long term, but you can trade pretty much anything. Nice bullish candle, nice little inside candle, and we're gapping. I like 2-day pennant patterns, gapping up. The only thing about this one, where's the 100? Yeah, so you do have some room. Yeah, you do have some room on that. So that one looks pretty decent. Workday, I kind of like this little hammer on Workday. Big volume. I mean, the most
Yeah.
volume.
That's super pretty.
Most volume since November of, yeah, whatever this was, November of 2016. Wow, that was a lot of volume. But yeah, the most volume on this thing. This thing had a huge drawdown, 50% or so. And I don't know what caused this, like intraday, but then it rallied off of there and held into the close. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that one. Yeah, again, I don't want to own many of these like over, a couple days or something, but definitely tradable. Or, you could just go with the keep trading energy long. It's been working. This broke through the 2618, so we're probably headed, or XLE is probably headed to $80. One man's trash is another man's cash flow. Yep. That's literally true, aka waste management. And talk about a nice trend. Look at this on the weekly. That was 2020 over here. Yeah, I don't think trash is going anywhere, not unless someone picks it up. So long on garbage. The banks, JP Morgan and Morgan. It needs a little bit of a pullback, but man, this thing just ripped off of here.
Break up the banks.
Yeah, I mean, interest rates going up. It's just it's free money for them. And you don't have to do anything.
We got to break up the banks. A Bernie impression. Is it good?
It's pretty good. Or that when he goes, once again, I'm asking for your support. But solid support on JP Morgan, and it bounced. I actually wish I would have gotten put shares. I had a put sale at 115 that expired literally on this day. Yep, Bernie is in the building. So someone's asking for Soxol. Isn't that the semiconductor? Yeah, it looks pretty decent. I don't play these ETFs, but especially when they're at 3x, like day trade only, maybe like 1 or 2 days. Otherwise, probably just play AMD, Nvidia. Same thing with TQQ. They're good for day trades, but otherwise, I wouldn't hold these things overnight because they reset like every day. And then if you, just as an example, why you never want to hold this long term. So remember, the Qs was down 30%. This was down 73%. So if you just hold all your money in the TQQ, it's like, yeah, when it's going up, it looks good, but when it pulls back, you just get absolutely obliterated. So yeah. Let me get point. By the way, I do have Interactive Brokers hooked up to TradingView. I'm gonna try to use it today, but Friday it wasn't working. I did use it Thursday, and it's interesting. There's a couple things you can't really do. So, like, I have to enter the profit taker and the stop loss at the same time. Otherwise, you can't do an OCO like after the fact. Whereas I'm using the actual IB, I usually just enter with one trade and then throw an OCO on. And then if you hit enter, maybe I'm just dumb, but I guess to go from box to box, you hit tab. Like I just thought you would hit enter. when you hit enter, it like auto sends the order, and my confirmations were turned off. But yeah, tried to buy like $1 million worth of the Qs. Luckily, it rejected. Yeah, what if either? So don't hit enter. Only hit tab if you're typing things in here. Because I think in regular IB, like if you're moving for box to box, you have to hit enter for it to take like the input. So yeah, just something to be aware of there. So we'll see. We'll see how it works. It either would have been a really good day or a really bad day. As far as what's going to qualify out the gates, Tesla will, Roblox maybe, Delta no, Apple no, AMD not yet, Nvidia maybe. And these are all retest gaps. So just because they are gap ups doesn't mean I'm just gonna, YOLO in immediately. I would actually I really like to see on retest gaps, bullish retest gaps, I like to see a little surge out the gate, pull back, consolidate, moving averages come in, and then we get our little 10 EMA trigger, and then something like that, and then it breaks higher. That's what I really like to see. Actually, the perfect example was Nvidia over here. Something like this is what I really like to see right here. So bullish retest gap, hit the surge, pull back, consolidate. Here's your 10 EMA trigger. Enter long, stop there, exit up there. Done. I got that on IWM. Didn't really get much of a pullback. We got a consolidation. 3 upper wicks. I went long right there. We'll stop there, but that and Nvidia were my trades on Friday. AMD, a little similar. Like I think this candle would have been the best. Here, you might have gotten a win, just depending on how tight your stop was. And then if you're snapbacking, good luck. Haley's thoughts on apps earning. Man, it's a tech company. I mean, at least it's kind of started to double bottom. There's hope for it, but most of these things have been getting wrecked on earnings. But there's a little bit of hope since Zoom didn't get completely destroyed. But if we go back to just companies just getting trashed on any earnings, then it's not going to matter. Are you still short Google, Jeremy?
I am not. No, I got trailed out above that hammer.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, when you pointed it out, I'm like, this looks good for a long right here.
Yeah.
Hammer, inside candle.
Yeah. I was hoping it would break down. Obviously, it didn't. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just trail out for a small little W.
Yep. Yeah, retested some nice old support.
Yep.
Consolidation, nice weekly hammer. I don't think this split isn't until July. Didn't they announce the split before Amazon, but Amazon's splitting before them? It's kind of weird.
Correct. It's pretty weird.
So yeah, Amazon split date June 6th. That is next Monday. That'll be pretty interesting. Fro? Is this Froyo? Frontline. Marine shipping. I mean, it's pulling back into some support. Is this like a dry ships kind of thing? Yeah, I'd probably just leave this one alone. I'd probably leave this one alone. The only one I think I'd play would maybe be Zim. I don't think I would play that other one. Let me put Tesla over here. Roblo, Delta. Anything else anyone wants to look at? Hey, good morning, Kristen. How are you? The gap list is basically all energy and then all China stocks since they're reopening a little bit. And at a certain point, these things are going to just gap into some pretty strong resistance and be fades. Might be able to get one day of a bull day trade. Like Baidu is probably a fade. Yeah, gapping into the 200. There you go. Netflix. Netflix. It looks like an okay gap on Netflix. Inside week. I would like it a lot better if we were opening above this candle, which would be 195. It's weird saying 195 on Netflix. I remember it being so much higher. Yeah, it'd be better if it was opening at like 196, but it is not. So just look for a retest. Same things what I talked about, a lot of other things. Retest, consolidate, and then take it. ICL. No idea what this is. Chemical, agricultural, like one trade down here. It probably bounces, looks terrible to day trade. Volume. Goggle, is that like the poor man's Google? Can't afford the extra O. Golden Ocean Group, another marine shipper. I'm just not a fan of these. Is this another dry ships kind of? Yeah. I'll just leave those alone. JD.com. JD looks all right. It's gapping into some resistance here. Got the 50, you got a bunch of these lower wicks, retest gap. Justin says, okay, I haven't totally lost it. Do we see a head and shoulders on Apple? Not really. I mean, maybe if you get creative. But yeah, Apple did. There's a lot of stuff that's head and shoulders, but a lot of them have like we've kind of completed. All right. IWM was definitely like if you come to a weekly, it's a little head and shoulders ish, but it's pulled back all the way into old support. So I know everyone like wants us to go to zero like immediately, but Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft was kind of more head and shoulder ish on the weekly. Maybe it could have gone a little bit lower. It's like they've already broke down, from up here. Like we're retesting it. We'll see what happens. I just think people got a little too overly bearish. It's like, where were you like 5 months ago? When like this pivot right here. Or, these pivots. Yeah, Greg, energy is just super strong. It's probably just going to keep going. Probably just going to keep going. Europe making more bad decisions on energy policy. So on a 4-hour chart, I don't generally usually look at a 4-hour. Looks more like an inverted head and shoulders on this 4-hour. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Yeah, it looks a little more inverted head and shoulders, which is essentially a double bottom. You also have this undercut and rally right here, aka the trap. It's a trap. Someone going long apple, or sorry, short apple down there. Got their face ripped off last week. Like, no, sorry, you should have shorted apple there. Up here, this retest, this breakdown, all kinds of maybe there, the open, all kinds of short opportunities on Apple. This candle is definitely not one of them. Give me 1 second. Had to sneeze. Is sneezing a sign of the monkeypox? I hope not.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, shoot.
You caught it. That's the first step is a sneeze.
So Nvidia is going to qualify. Oh, wow. Delta actually might qualify gapping under.
I know. That's wild.
But those long terms, there's still a little room. I heard they were canceling flights this weekend. What's the worst airline doing? American? Still below the 200. The SIGA, the monkeypox vaccine. Delta's been canceling 100 a day. Wow. Apple and AMD might qualify. Yeah, it's going to be close on the opens of those. So we'll have a few to watch. I'm not going to be in a rush to take something right out the gate, but see what sets up. Peggy says my flight for vacay last week got canceled 12 hours prior. Huh. Hey, this sounds like plenty of notice. It was Delta. Shoot, Delta service going south. How's LUV? Looking similar. UAL. Yeah, they can all look the same. Justin says, I hope they get straightened up within 2 weeks. All right. Please tell me you're not flying American again. Delta, you'll be good. And we're off. All right, YouTube, smash that like button for the Bulls. And we will see you